Hello students, how are you all? Welcome to online classes. So in our last video we have discussed about VBT, valence bond theory. According to that theory, there is a covalent bond between the metal and ligand. Sigma bond is formed by the completely filled ligand orbitals and empty orbitals of metal. Similarly, pi bond in a reverse way. So if they give complex, then we can write whether it is a inner orbital, outer orbital, magnetic data, and low spin or high spin, strong field or weak field ligands. And we have discussed a few examples and their structures also with hybridizations. So in this session, I am going to discuss the next theory called crystal field theory. So this is crystal field theory. Crystal field theory. This theory was proposed by Van Vleck and Bethe. According to this theory, there is a bond between metal and ligand. This bond is ionic bond. According to VBT, this bond is covalent. According to CFT, this bond is assumed as ionic bond. So ligands are electron excess, metal is electron deficient. Yes, there is a electrostatic force of attraction between the ligand and metal, hence they assumed as ionic bond. Ligands are assumed as point charges, especially negative ligands point charges. Neutral ligands considered as a point dipoles. Neutral ligand means NH3. If you observe NH3, nitrogen more electronegative, hydrogen to nitrogen electrons will be attracted. Then these are considered as neutral ligands, point dipoles. Negative ligands considered as point charges. When metal is added to a ligand solution, take a test tube. In that you just take ligand solution, NH3 solution, to that add a metal. Then NH3s are surrounded around the, which one, that is a metal. NH3 act as a ligand. Then forms a complex compound. So when metal is added to ligand solution, then there is a ionic bond formation between the metal and ligand, right? So now, in the beginning only metal, during the approach of ligand to the central metal atom, if ligands surrounded by central metal atom, there is a spherical symmetrical crystal field will be formed. Field in the sense, the negative field. Negative field means ligands are negative. It means negatively charged ligands, negative charge. Neutral ligands. Here, this is electronegative atom. Obviously, it has some electron density. Electrons are negative charge. Obviously, that is also negative field. Ligand is nothing but a negative field, that is nothing but a neutral ligand or negative ligand. So now around the central metal atom there is a negative charge field will be formed. That must be in a spherical symmetrical field. Spherical symmetrical. If you cut in any direction, I'll get two equal half parts. Now, in the central metal atom, it is a d block element. It has d orbitals, totally 5. Metal atom it is. Inside d orbitals, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, dz square. We read already. So these all are having same energy. That's why these are named as degenerate orbitals. The orbitals having same energy called degenerate. dxy, yz, zx, x square minus y square, z square called degenerate orbitals. When ligands approached to the central metal atom, the degeneracy of these orbitals will be gone. It means these d orbitals will be split up into two levels. So these d orbitals split up into two levels. When ligands approaching to the central metal d orbitals, these will be split up into two levels. One is, so here EZ, another one is T2C. D, xy, yz, zx, x square minus y square and z square will be split up into dxy, yz, zx, one set, lower energy, dx square minus y square and dz square, higher energy. This type of splitting is called as crystal field splitting. Field is a negative field. So definition for crystal field splitting. The degeneracy of d orbitals will be gone when ligands approach to the central metal atom. Clear? The d orbitals are present in the central metal atom. The crystal field will be splitting. Otherwise, the splitting of spherical symmetrical crystal field in presence of a ligand called crystal field splitting. Right? So these three will be downside, these three will be upside. Why down, why up? Reasons we'll discuss afterwards. Now we'll write all these points one by one. Okay, the points are CFT, it was given by Bethe and Van Vleck. First point. According to this CFT, the bond between the metal and ligand is assumed as ionic bond. Negative charged ligands are assumed as point charges. Neutral ligand considered as point dipoles, treated as point dipoles. When metal atom placed in ligand solution, there is a formation of ionic bond due to the electrostatic force of attraction between ligand and central metal atom. So orbitals having same energy called degenerate orbitals. The phenomenon is called degeneracy. Now d orbitals in metal in the beginning or degenerate. So there are 5 orbitals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. dxy, dyz, dzx, x square minus y square and dz square. All are having same energy. That's why these 5 are degenerate. The phenomenon is degeneracy. If ligands approach to the central atom, the degeneracy of the orbitals will be gone. The spherical crystal field will be splitted. Then obviously this splitting is called as a crystal field splitting. So we'll discuss that. Okay students, the next point is when metal atom added to the ligand, few ligands are very close to the metal atom, then there is a disturbance in the degeneracy of d orbitals. It means ligand electrons and metal d orbitals electrons. Electron negative charge, here also negative charge. Negative and negative will be repelled with each other. That is the point written. When metal atom added to ligand solution and some ligands close to metal atom, that is a central atom, and repulsions arise between the ligand and metal, and the degeneracy of d orbitals will be disturbed. It means the degeneracy of d orbitals will be gone. Then crystal field splitting. These are the 5 degenerate orbitals, d, x, y, z, d, zx dx square minus y square and dz square. All are having same energy, degenerate 5d orbitals. In presence of ligand, it is a metal. Ligands 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 approaching. Then there is a repulsions. Due to that repulsions, obviously, it will be split up into two levels. 3 in one set, 2 in another set. These are dxy, dyz, dzx. These are dx square minus y square, dz square. Clear it is? So this kind of splitting of degenerate orbitals into two different levels. This is a lower energy, this is a higher energy. But in the beginning, all are having same energy. After splitting, energy will be different. Same energy, degenerate orbitals. And these will split up into different energy levels. This type of splitting of degenerate d orbitals in presence of ligands, this is called crystal field splitting. This splitting is one of the reason behind the color properties. You need to remember this point. Okay, so I'll draw the complete diagram. In the beginning, metal. After that, ligands approached. After that, repulsions takes place, and two levels. One is 3, another one 2. These were named as T2Z, upside named as EG. So, and what is the energy difference between these two levels? So, we'll discuss now. Okay, students, in CFT, there are two topics. Crystal field splitting in octahedral complexes, coordination number 6. Crystal field splitting in tetrahedral complexes, coordination number 4. Tetrahedral and octahedral given in the syllabus. We discuss first octahedral complexes. Crystal field splitting in octahedral complexes. Seen that in octahedral complexes, 6 ligands, coordination number 6. 6 ligands approach in x direction, y direction, z direction. So there is a repulsions between the ligand and central metal atom electrons. Electrons of ligand and electrons of metal repel with each other when approached, ligand and metal. So due to that repulsion, the degenerate orbitals split up into two levels. Okay, now in the beginning, it is a metal atom or ion. It is a free metal atom. In the beginning, no ligand. 5d orbitals, dxy, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, dz square. These are the 5 orbitals. All are having same energy. Same energy means degenerate orbitals. So when ligands approach to the metal atom, there is a negative crystal field around the, which one, that is metal atom. Crystal field, that is a negative charge. It is a spherical symmetrical crystal field. Whenever ligands approached, something energy of d orbitals will be increased, but all d orbitals having the same charge. So here this is average energy of d orbitals in spherical crystal field. Right? Now ligands approached. Now few ligands closer to the central atom. It means these ligands are close to the central atom. Gradually the distance between the ligand and central atom will be decreased. So ligand electron and metal atom electron repel with each other. Then the d orbitals, degenerate d orbitals in the central metal atom will be split up into two levels. One is a T2Z level, another one is a EZ level. T2Z means these three in same energy level. EZ means these two in same energy levels. but these two not in the same energy level. These 5 are same. After splitting, 3 in lower energy and 2 in higher energy. Observe carefully. Lower energy, higher energy. It is the direction, lower to higher of energy. Now, dxy, dyz, zx in the lower energy indicated as T2z. Triple degenerate orbitals. 3 are in the same energy level. That's why these are called triple degenerate orbitals. Triple degenerate orbitals. T2z, dxy, yz, zx. Lower energy. Higher energy. dx square minus y square and dz square. These two in higher energy indicated as EZ. These are two in the same energy level. That's why double degenerate orbitals. Double degenerate orbitals. Double degenerate orbitals. It is having lower energy. This is the average energy of crystal field. Delta naught indicates, naught means O. O indicates here octahedral complex. Delta indicates crystal field splitting energy. Simply delta naught is crystal field splitting energy in octahedral complexes. Clear? It is. After splitting, so these will be lower energy, 2 by 5 times of less than that of this energy. It is 3 by 5 times more than that of delta naught, average energy. 3 by 5 times more than average energy, 2 by 5 times less than which one, that is average energy. This is the crystal field splitting energy. This is nothing but splitting of d orbitals in octahedral crystal field. So diagram important. 3 marks question it is. They will expect which one diagram. Now, how to write the information regarding this? In octahedral complexes, there are 6 ligands, coordination number 6. When ligands approach to the central atom, there is a spherical symmetrical crystal field will be formed. In the beginning, the metal d orbitals are degenerate. So, when ligands approach to a central metal atom, there is a repulsion between the ligand electrons and central metal atom electrons. Due to that repulsions, the degeneracy of d orbitals will be collapsed, and the spherical crystal field will be split up into 2 levels. Nothing but the splitting of d orbitals in presence of ligands. Then lower energy called T2z, higher energy called EZ. There are 3 T2z orbitals. One is dxy, yz, zx. 2 EZ orbitals, another dx square, y square and dz square. And energy difference. Triple degenerate orbitals, double degenerate orbitals. This is the information we should write. And one more thing you need to remember. Why this will be the lower energy, why this will be the higher energy. Reason and these points we'll write now. Okay students, few more points. In octahedral complexes, metal atoms surrounded by totally how many? 6 ligands. Diagram must, if they ask this question, explain the crystal field splitting in octahedral complex. Diagram drawn. I cannot keep as it is diagram because I need to write more points. That's why I rest. So now, after diagram, explained already, how to write the points. Octahedral complex, totally 6 ligands are surrounded by the central metal atom. If ligands approach to the central metal atom, obviously repulsions between the ligand and central metal atom, the degeneracy of d orbitals will be removed. That is the point. That leads to the splitting of degenerate d orbitals into 2 sets. splitting of degenerate d orbitals into two sets. One is T2z, another one is EZ. EZ is higher, T2z is lower. T2g, EG. Lower, higher. So the lower energy orbitals called T2z named as triple degenerate dxy, yz, zx. The higher energy orbitals called EZ orbitals. These are dx square minus y square and dz square. Lower energy T2z, higher energy EG. So triple degenerate, double degenerate. And to explain why T2z lower, why EZ higher. T2z lower, EZ higher. Reason. To know the reason, we should know the structure of, otherwise the shapes of d orbitals. dxy, dyz, dzx. So the electron cloud is located between the axes. Clear all of you? Between the axes. In dxy, dyz, dzx. The electron cloud is located on the axis in dx square minus y square and dz square. We should know the shapes of orbitals to know the reason behind the energy of T2z and EZ. Why T2z lower and EZ higher, to know that shapes required. Okay, reason we'll discuss now. See students, reason why T2z lower, EZ higher. In dxy, yz, zx, electron cloud is between axes. Clear? But in dx square, y square and dz square, electron cloud is on the axis. Clear it is, first of all? Now, this is octahedral shape. This is the central metal atom. The central metal atom, dxy, yz or zx, any orbital you can take, because these three are having same shape. Electron cloud is between the axis. So metal atom, inside orbitals are there. Now degenerate orbitals, those are. This is ligand approaching direction. Ligand, it is electron cloud, negative charge. This is negative charge. This is the direction of ligand, this is the negative charge. It means there is some distance between the negative and negative. Less repulsions. But in this case, dx square minus y square and dz square. In these two cases, central metal atom, it is octahedral complex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Octahedral shape it is. In x direction, y direction, z direction. Then, so this is the electron cloud on the y-axis, on the x-axis. Clear it is? Now, this is the ligand approaching direction. It is the shape of octahedral. 6 corners. This corner ligand is towards the electron cloud direction of dx square minus y square. Because electron cloud is on the axis, ligands also approaching towards axis. And this one, obviously more repulsions. More repulsions means more higher energy. Less repulsions means lower energy. Once again, very, very important reason. In dx square, y square, totally 5 orbitals are there in central metal d orbitals. Dx square, y square and dz square. Electron cloud is on the axis. Ligand is approaching. The ligand direction and the electron cloud direction is same. It is negative cloud, it is also negative. Negative and negative approached in the same direction, more repulsions. Clear it is? But here, negative and negative, not in the same direction. This is negative and this is negative. So electron cloud between the axis, but ligand approaching on the axis. Clear ideas? Ligand approaching on the axis, but electron cloud is between the axis. So ligand direction and electron cloud direction is different. So this is electron cloud, this is ligand. It is different. Less repulsions, lower energy. So in this case, ligand and electron cloud direction is same. Obviously, more repulsions, higher energy. Repulsions more in dx square, y square and dz square because ligand and electron cloud direction will be same, more repulsions. And here dxy, yz, zx, t2z orbitals in lower energy because the reason is the electron cloud direction and the ligand approaching direction is different because electron cloud is in between the axis. Because of that reason, less repulsions, low energy. T2z lower here, T2z 3 orbitals lower and easy higher. Clear it is? So I'll write the reason now here. Reasons I have written, students. See this ligand and electron cloud direction will be the same. Obviously more repulsions that leads to higher energy. That's why dx square, y square and dz square, these two called easy orbitals, these will be in the higher energy due to high repulsions because of the ligand approaching direction and the electron cloud direction is the same, more repulsions. That is what I have written here. So here the starting is here, this one. Dx square, y square and dz square orbitals are point towards the ligand direction and they will experience more repulsions that will rise in energy called higher energy. Higher energy it is and it is lower energy. Now this one. So the orbitals and the ligand approaching direction is different. That's why this is orbital direction, this is a ligand direction, different it is. That's why less repulsions, lower energy. dxy, yz, zx are directed between the axis. The ligand direction is different from orbital's direction. That's why less repulsions, that leads to lower energy. Clear? T2z lower, easy, higher. So this is the matter we should write. Next one. So in VBT I have written strong field and weak field ligand. Based on field strengths, it was decided as a strong field as well as a weak field. Just now I told you a negative field around the central atom by ligands. So some ligands have a more field strength. Those are named as a strong field ligand. Field strength more, strong field, obviously splitting will be more. Clear it is? If weak field ligand is there, the field strength is low and splitting also low. Weak field ligand, splitting low. Strong field ligand, splitting high. The splitting energy is high in strong field, the splitting energy is low in weak field ligands. Some ligands causes higher splitting based on the electron density and the nature of ligands, causes more splitting of crystal field. Some ligands causes less splitting of crystal field based on the number of donor atoms and nature of atoms in ligand. And based on these field strength, this was given experimentally. All the ligands are arranged in a series on their field strength. That series is called as a spectrochemical series. Very important. Spectrochemical series. Ligands are arranged in increasing order of their field strength or decreasing order of their field strength called spectrochemical series. I'll write strong field, weak field, and spectrochemical series from higher to lower or lower to higher. Okay, students, strong field ligand and weak field ligand. In presence of some ligands, they are able to produce a very strong field around the central metal atom. So that leads to more repulsions. Such ligands are named as a strong field ligands. Strong repulsions we can observe here. Okay. Next, some ligands are able to produce a very weak field based on nature of ligand. Then such ligands experience less repulsions only, but not more repulsions. Such ligands are called weak field ligands. If all the ligands will be arranged in increasing order of their field strength, then you will get a series. The series is called as spectrochemical series. Ligands are arranged in increasing order of their field strength. Then the series obtained called spectrochemical series. You observe clearly, fluorine, chlorine, iodine, bromine, all are lower. Less than means lower. I told you that cobalt, cyanide, ethylene diamine and these are strong field ligands and these are weak field ligands. Less than means lower. Right side, these are higher. Clear it is. Field strength higher means strong field ligands. In VBT, I gave you examples. CONH3 ENCN minus as strong field ligands because in the series these are right side in the increasing order and iodine, bromine, fluorine are left side in the increasing order of which one ligands. So from this they decided whether it is a strong field ligand or a weak field ligand. The field strength based on the nature of your ligand and field produced by the ligand. And another one is, this data is given by the absorption of light by complexes in experiments. This is experimental data. By that only they have decided as a strong field ligands and weak field ligands, right? And now, how to fill electrons in T2Z and EZ orbitals? You'll observe now. Filling of electrons in T2Z and EZ orbitals. First one, these are degenerate orbitals of metal, free metal, d orbitals. Around this ligands are there, 6 ligands. Repulsions are there. Obviously this will be split up into what is that, 2 levels. One is T2Z, another one is EZ, right? dxy yz zx, dx square minus y square and dz square. T2Z orbitals and it is EZ orbitals. Okay. Then first electron is there. It is the energy, lower energy, higher energy. It is energy order. Lower energy, higher energy. So first electron should be filled in lower energy. As per Hofbauer principle, lower energy orbitals filled first followed by the higher energy orbital. Second electron is there, no problem. So it is also filled in the lower energy, empty orbital is available. Third electron is there for us, no problem again. One more orbital is available in the lower energy. Fourth electron is there. There is a problem with the fourth electron. Clear it is? The reason is, it should be filled in the lower energy. Otherwise empty orbitals are there, it must be filled in the empty orbital. As per Hofbauer principle, lower energy orbitals filled first. According to that, again the electron must be filled in this orbital, it should be paired. According to Pauli's principle, so each and every orbital must be occupied singly. 1, 1, 1, again 1, 1, then only pairing will start. So to fill lower energy, pairing will start, but these orbitals are empty. Pairing will start after occupying single electron in each and every orbital. Confusion again. Next one, Hund's rule as per that. So you need to fill pairing, especially pairing. Hofbauer means lower. Pauli's means single electron must be occupied in each and every orbital. Hund's means what is that? Pairing will start after singly occupied orbitals. Confusion is there. The fourth must be paired in T2Z or entered into the EZ. So there is a confusion. To overcome this difficulty, two options are there. One is a splitting energy, another one is a, which one, that is the pairing energy. So, there is a difficulty in filling of fourth electron. Filling of fourth electron. To overcome this, there are two options. Case 1. Case 1. In the first case, splitting energy less than that of pairing energy. Splitting energy means here delta naught indicates. Delta indicates crystal field splitting energy. Remember delta. Naught indicates octahedral complex. Octahedral complex. Delta naught indicates crystal field splitting energy in octahedral complex. This is. P indicates pairing energy. Pairing energy means the energy required to pair the electron. The energy required to pair the electron, that is called pairing energy. The energy required to split the crystal field called delta naught, that is called crystal field splitting energy in octahedral complexes indicated by delta naught. Right. Case 1. Delta naught less than P. Pairing energy is greater than splitting energy. Splitting energy less than pairing energy. Here, pairing energy greater than splitting energy. It means more energy required to pair electrons. So it is difficult to pair. Hence, the fourth electron enters into EZ orbital, because the reason is more pairing energy is there. If the electron paired here, fourth electron, 1, 2, 3, fourth electron, to pair this one, to pair up, more energy is required in the first case. That's why it is very difficult to pair here. That's why it will be entered into EZ. Then the configuration is T2Z EZ. T2Z has 3 electrons, EZ has 1 electron. Very, very important. It is the previous NEET question. Pairing energy less than that, or splitting energy less than that of pairing energy, or pairing energy more than that of splitting energy. More indicates more energy is required to pair up the electron. That's why very difficult to pair the electron in the lower level. That's why energy enter into the EZ after filling this T2Z by single electrons. Then the configuration is T2Z3 EZ1. Here pairing or no pairing takes place. No pairing No pairing means the ligand around the central atom has less strength. That's why it is called weak field ligand. Around this there are ligands, 6 ligands. Those ligands are weak field ligands. That's why no pairing. Weak field ligands in VBT we have discussed. Then outer orbital complexes. Outer orbital complexes. From this they decided whether weak field ligand or a strong field ligand. The complex in which the splitting energy less than pairing energy, then ligand will be weak field, no pairing. So then obviously plus half, plus half, plus half, plus half. So all are high spin complex. High spin complex. It is also called spin free complex. So outer orbital complexes in VBT discussed. It is the first case. Second case is case number 2. That is case 2. Delta naught greater than pairing energy. Splitting energy more than pairing energy. Pairing energy less. Here pairing energy is less. Less means it means less energy is required. Less energy required to pair electron, that is fourth electron, to pair fourth electron. Hence, electron easily paired in T2Z only. T2Z only. The configuration is, so here because of less pairing energy the electron will be entered here. Clear it is? Then obviously, so here T2Z4 EZ will be 0. T2Z4 EZ 0. Pairing starts. That's why strong field ligand pairing takes place. Strong field ligand. Then inner orbital complex opposite points. Pairing starts plus of minus of 0. Previously plus of plus of plus of plus of 2. But here plus of minus of 0 plus of 1. Previously 2, now 1. Spin decreased. That's why it is low spin complex. Low spin complex. Clear it is? So, two conditions to fill electrons. First one, delta naught P, pairing energy more, that's why difficult to pair. Electron will be entered into the EZ, T2Z3, EZ1. T2Z3, EZ1. Configuration. Now, then no pairing, weak field ligand, outer orbital complex. High spin complex, because all are having plus half spin. And in this case too, delta naught greater than P. Pairing energy is lower than splitting energy. Low means less energy is required, easy to pair fourth electron in T2Z itself only, then it will not enter into EZ, it will be paired. Clear it is? Then the configuration is T2Z4, EZ will be 0. Then reverse points are inner orbital complex, pairing takes place, strong field ligand, then low spin complex. From this data only, they decided whether it is a low spin complex or high spin complex or a strong field ligand or a weak field ligand. Students, till now we have discussed about CFT in octahedral complexes. So one of the important question, follow perfectly, take down the notes clearly, and it helps you a lot, right? So in our next video, we'll discuss about splitting or crystal field splitting in tetrahedral complexes.